The universe has existed for approximately 13.7 billion years. And out of those 13.7 billion years, Earth has existed for only 4.5 billion years. And even more so, out of those 4.5 billion years, humans have only been around for, give or take, 300,000. That's absolutely minuscule, not even 1%. You can't, it's absolutely insignificant. This is a photograph taken in 1990 of Earth at a distance of 3.7 billion miles away. Now, if I didn't circle it in red, you wouldn't even be able to tell it was there. Can you really tell me that Earth has any significance in the grand scheme of things? Now, don't take this the wrong way, but nothing we do really matters. And this isn't bad. My goal today is to show you the philosophy of optimistic nihilism. Now, I bet many of you are thinking, what is optimistic nihilism? I remember being pretty confused the first time I heard it because, nihilism is the idea that rejects the belief that life has meaning or purpose. How can that come anywhere close to being optimistic? Well, if life is without inherent meaning, each and every person is able to do as they please. It encourages you to pave your own way for life. Now, let's just pretend we're back in English class. What's the word for a piece of figurative language that combines two seemingly opposite words to make a thought-provoking idea? This isn't a rhetorical question, by the way. Someone please raise your hand. Can't. Can't see. Yeah, oxymoron. Now, optimism is obviously positive, and nihilism, just by that definition alone, is pretty negative. But when you put them together, you get a very thought-provoking philosophy that's worth exploring. Okay. So my first thought relating to optimistic nihilism was pretty zany, but considering I was in 7th or 8th grade at the time, it makes a lot of sense, especially if you knew me. And I was a lot more flamboyant in the way I dressed, I guess. And the reason I had enough confidence to do so was, I kid you not, life is short and swag makes it better. Take a look. Yikes. It's pretty bad. Now, a bit of backstory. Going into my 8th grade year, I had witnessed my brother having a mental health episode, specifically a state of psychosis. And prior to this event, home was pretty much a constant in my life. Things didn't change all that much, and sure, there were a handful of times where I should have gotten the idea that something more was going on, but, being in 8th grade, I was pretty blissfully unaware and even at times partially ignorant. But when my brother had his episode, it forced me to change my worldview, and it forced me to change as a person. Now, enough about me. I'm pretty sure you're tired of all looking at my face. So, Albert Camus, Friedrich Nietzsche, and Kurt Cobain. There's something that all three of these people have in common, and no, it's not the fact that they're all dead white guys. It's the fact that they've all made points that support optimistic nihilism some way or another. So first up is Albert Camus. He's the author of the book The Stranger, where the main character, Merceau, shoots a man because, why not? That's pretty much what the book says. And he doesn't have much going on for himself. He displays a little emotion, he rejects God, and is eventually sentenced to death. And throughout all of this, Merceau constantly laments about how he accepts the universe's pointlessness and how life doesn't really have much meaning. Then we have Friedrich Nietzsche. He's the father of nihilism, and in his 1882 book, The Gay Science, he wrote, "God is dead, God remains dead, and we have killed him." Yeah, pretty dark. And then Kurt Cobain. I'd assume out of all of the three people I've talked about, you would most likely know him. So he's the frontman for Nirvana, and he was a pretty big advocate for genuine connection, authenticity of the self, and pretty vocal about life's meaninglessness. Now, while on the topic of music, I'm pretty sure all of you have heard the song Bohemian Rhapsody. I mean, I had it playing earlier. So there's plenty of theories about the song's meaning, such as it being about Freddie Mercury's sexuality or him having AIDS. But the main theory I'm going to focus on is that it's based on To Noose the Stranger. So the narrator in the song kills someone, and he's pretty open about it. But he faces trial, and then he's like, nothing matters. Well, during the Live Aid performance, Freddie Mercury knew that he was dying. And he's going to die soon, specifically of AIDS. But during this performance, just the sheer emotion of it really encapsulates the song's meaning. Can you please play? Come on. That was pretty theatrical. We're not playing again, okay? Now, how many of you have seen the movie Oppenheimer, or at least heard of it? Okay, well, there's a quote from Robert J. Oppenheimer that I think fits this very well. And the optimist thinks that this is the best of all worlds. The pessimist fears that it is the truth. Now, I bet a handful of you are wondering, why am I even up here blabbing about this to you? Why does this matter? And it doesn't, it really doesn't. It's just something I was passionate about and felt like sharing to you all. But considering that isn't the most satisfactory answer, even though it is the most honest, I personally believe that it's impossible for objects and people just to have innate meaning, innate purposes. Oh, okay. So to you all, this might just be a clump of pink fabric and acrylic stuffing in the shape of a cat. But to me, it was a childhood plush, and it comforted me throughout countless nights and soothed me to sleep. When you're brought into this world, you don't really know what you're going to do. You don't even know what the world is. How can one say that that you have a predisposed role in life if you yourself don't know what's going on? And even then, I bet that what you want to do when you were a child as a career is far different than what you wanted to do now. Like, for example, this was me in about first grade, and I'm pretty sure at the time I wanted to be a veterinarian. Then this is me in sixth grade. I wanted to be an astronomer. Currently, I intend on going to the mortuary field, but even then, I'm pretty unsure. Now, optimistic nihilism, you kind of have to practice it with caution. Just like everything in life, you have to use moderation and thoughtfulness. Now, I want to leave you today with philosopher John Locke's idea of tabula rasa. A clean slate, a fresh start, a new beginning. Sorry, I'm having like a really big brain fart. Okay. I hope you take away something from my talk, but if you don't, that's okay because thank you. Oh, what is it?